What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hustle with JesseW. And today we're going to go and react to Patrick Whelan's video regarding whether or not Ross Cameron pumped and dumped stock LGHL on Thursday the 16th, I believe it was. Yes, it was. Check it out. All right, guys. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go over exactly this video you see here, titled Ross Cameron is pump and dump king, question mark, parentheses, proof, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. We're going to find out whether or not there's any truth to this. I did a very similar video not too long ago, earlier this year, I believe it was, or sometime at the end of last year, somewhere around there between, I want to say December and February. I did a video and I'm going to link it somewhere around here. Okay, it's going to come out either somewhere on here on the screen or in the description section or both, and you'll be able to go check that out. But I would definitely suggest checking that one out after you check this one out, because there are tremendous similarities within both videos while at the same time having a major difference. Okay, and the major difference is when I did my video, the trade in question was done during regular market hours. Okay, in this video here, Patrick is going to go over a trade Ross did during pre-market, which is something apparently he's been doing a lot of lately, going live on YouTube and trading pre-market. Now, we all know in pre-market there's a lot less volume than there is when the bell rings, okay, which makes predictability on something like a pullback level holding a lot more difficult. This is one reason I don't trade pre-market. I haven't traded pre-market in probably months. Okay, and it's not something, even when I did trade it, it'd be sporadic trades. Now let's go ahead and see what Patrick has to say about this.
Today, Ross Cameron giving away all of his secrets, making $94,000 by trading 36,000 shares of the stock that you see pulled up behind me. I'm going to talk about this whole entire move, what went down, how it happened, and how Ross is continuously using his chat room, using his following to pump stocks to make huge profits and then show them off here on YouTube and look like a day trading god. Gonna talk about it here in this video, so make sure you guys.
I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of Ross fans down there talking about how he's almost like a day trading god.
All right, what's going on? We're looking here at LGHL. Now, LGHL was on top of the scanner.
Now, the first thing I want you to notice here is look at the volume that you see here. You see that volume? That's really light volume, regular volume for a big gapper in pre-market, okay? If this wasn't a gapper, they wouldn't even have that volume. But this is pretty light volume, and the type of volume you would see pre-market on a gapper. You know, you'd see tens of thousands of shares traded in each candle, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 candles that'll have 50 to 100,000 shares traded, and then the rest would generally be in that neighborhood of like 10 to like 50,000 shares traded, etc. Okay, which is something that's pretty normal on a gapper with news in pre-market. What you don't tend to see normally on something like this on these low floats is having 200, 300, 400,000 share candles in pre-market.
This morning, I think it was number 2. I talked about it on StockTwits, and boom, boom, boom. This is 7. It pulled back, found some support there at the 5s. It went boom, boom, boom. This is the 1-minute chart. It went back over 6. So looking at Ross's video, Ross talked about how if it regained that 6th level, he was looking to buy. Now, it's one thing to buy a stock pre-market. It's one thing to trade pre-market. We've talked about this before. Trading pre-market, a lot of times the volume can be a little low. Overall, it's just hard to read the exact price action pre-market because you just don't have
it. Is, and that's why I don't really trade pre-market.
Especially for a stock that's gapping.
It's that simple.
Now, Ross talked about how he bought at $6. He kept buying, kept buying, kept buying, kept buying, all the way to almost, I think he said $7.50, $8.
So just constantly buying the way up, buying. I'm gonna buy more. I would imagine it would say I'm gonna, buy more here at this break. Like, look, the reality is, and you know how I trade, that even if I would have gotten in somewhere in here, which I wouldn't have, my first take profit is right here, this previous high, because I would imagine this to hold resistance. As a normal trader, trading on my own without having a legion of people following behind me on my alerts, then I mean, even if I did have it, I'd still take profit there because that's a prudent, responsible trader. This could easily reject there. I would treat this just like I would if it was the regular bell. Like if we were trading, you know, it was like 10 a.m., 9:45 a.m. I would be taking profit there. That's the initial high of the morning, let's say.
Buy for this push all the way up. And he bought 36,000 shares. 36,000 shares. It's amazing, really. 36,000 shares, right? He bought 36,000 shares chasing this move higher. And, well, guess what? Who else bought with him? I'm telling you guys right now. Who else bought this stock? Not me. I would not buy this stock, first off, because I just wouldn't buy it. Because look at this action here, right? Look at this action before Ross bought this stock.
So that's true right there. If he bought here and he put out an alert, or basically just everyone, you know, he said, I'm buying, or I bought, or I plan to buy. The reality is people are going to buy right behind them. And what's going to happen? This huge push. I mean, I've seen this happen live, not in his room, in a room I used to be in, you know, a very long time ago. I've seen it happen.
Bought this stock. Look at the volume here, right? Look at the volume on this stock before Ross started to buy. 60,000, 100,000, 93,000, 45, 50. Yeah. I mean, this candle here, 10,000. This candle here, 55,000. This candle here. This next candle, we have another big spike in volume, obviously. Remember, Ross started buying there. So we got 233,000 here on this candle.
200, you're telling me in this entire move here, okay, when this PR probably dropped, this stock squeezed all the way up here, and not one candle of these, look at the volume bars, guys, look at the volume bars, not one of these candles is as big as this one right here, where he bought at $6. I understand where Patrick is coming from.
We have another big spike in volume, obviously. Remember, Ross's chat room, his chat room is delayed, right? His service or whatever, there's a delay.
Any live stream is generally delayed to a degree. It could be half a second, it could be a second, it could be two. I think YouTube's live streams are generally delayed by a couple seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I know there's a bigger delay there just because it's YouTube. It's not something that you're paying for. Like if you paid for a fancy streaming software and you start streaming on it, generally you can have, you know, very, very tiny delays to almost non-existent. But there's always going to be a little bit of a
buying. So he's buying here at 6. All of his chat room followers are following him as he's buying, pushing this higher, squeezing this higher to get 36,000, guys, 36,000 shares of this stock. He made he made $94,000 off of this move here, off of this move right here, as his followers are buying, they're chasing.
That's it right there. Look, the reality is that even if he tells people, don't follow me, they're going to follow. They're always going to follow because that's what they're there for generally.
And they're chasing this whole move higher. And what's even more interesting
is
look at this.
The FOMO kicks in hard. The FOMO kicks in hard because they know, you know, I'm buying at 6, you know, that's what, in that case, he's buying at 6, and all of a sudden it shoots up to $6.50, and they're like, oh my God, I just missed 50 cents. So then boom, they market order in at 50. Well, you can't market order in pre-market, but boom, they slap the ask, and boom,
once
7.
Once this move has been completed, remember, this is the 1 minute chart. So this is literally Ross buying, his followers buy. And guess what happens? Once Ross stops buying, once he's got his 36,000 shares, remember, 36,000, he's got his fill. When I saw that Ross posted a video talking about how he traded LGHL, I was like, well.
Look, that is right there, and I've shown you guys videos before, okay, of what pump and dumps look like, the chart. That right there, my friends, that right there is what a pump and dump looks like. Straight up move, look at my mouse cursor, straight up move, and then right back down to where it came from. This thing's at $4 and change. It had started its day in pre-market in the $3 range, like almost $4, okay? Like that 350 area. Come on now. That is a pump and dump right there. I'm not saying that he intentionally pumped and dumped it because I have no way of knowing that. Like I said in my other video that I had talked about, it's very possible that even if you don't want it to happen, it's going to happen when you have a chat room that's so huge and people buy after you and then you sell and nobody's left there to buy.
LGHL. I was like, well, did he go short? When did he even trade that thing? And when I watched his video, I saw that he traded it at 9 a.m. So I was like, oh, he traded it pre-market. The volume was really low pre-market, which it was. The volume was very low. And afterwards, it just got killed. It just got murdered. It literally just got murdered after that. And this right here is a prime, this is textbook. This is, if there was a book out there that had a picture of Ross Cameron and what Ross Cameron does with his chat room, this right here is exactly what Ross does. Now, again, like I always say with all my videos talking about Ross, is I love the guy. He's my hero. He's my spirit animal. I want to be the guy. I want to make $94,000 selling to my chat room. I would love for that to happen. I would love to make $100,000.
I'm sure he's being sarcastic. He said, I would love to make $94,000 selling to my chat room. Look, I'd love to make $94,000 in a day too. But it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be selling to a chat room.
Subscription. I really need to step up my game here.
He just said he needed to step up his game and have a chat room. Look, if I had a chat room, I'd be stoked about that too, honestly, and it'd be great. But I would never be the type. It's just not in my nature to try to like get one over on anyone. So I would never do something like that where you intentionally are pumping and dumping stocks and selling it into your chat room. And these people are there, they've signed up, they're there to learn from you, they're there to trade with you. Some people might not even be there to learn from you. They might already be, you know, really, really good traders, but they want to be a part of a community. So you have all types of people. Generally in a chat room, you're going to have 3 or 4 different types of people, right? You're going to have people who are there to learn. You're going to have people who are there to get rich quick. That doesn't exist, guys. You're going to have people there who are just there to hang out and trade with other traders. Maybe use some of your other features you have in your chat room, like scanners, and just talk and bounce ideas off of other traders. They don't really care what you alert or whatever you're trading. So you're going to have all type of people. You don't ever want to be that guy that does things like that, right? You just want to provide value in a chat room. So yeah, like I would love to make $94,000 in a trade, but it would never, if I had a chat room, it would never be to do such a thing like that.
Right here.
Okay. And I know, I'm sure that that's not what Patrick is saying he would do.
This move is example number 5,000,000 to show you this is what Ross does. This is what his chat room does. He finds these stocks pre-market that are gapping up on the charts, that have a little bit of news behind them. He buys, and pumps them higher. His chat room is delayed. His viewers, his followers, his subscribers follow him into the trade. I know Ross says that he does not want anyone to follow him into a trade. I understand that he says that. But if you have a chat room and you say, hey, I'm buying LGHL, don't buy it. Only I'm buying it. I guarantee you that everyone is still going to buy that stock.
They're going to buy. The reality is they're going to buy because they see you making obscene amounts of money, and they see that when you begin to buy, all of a sudden the price keeps going up because other people are buying, and they're going to buy. They're going to buy into it. No one is not, you know, they're not just going to sit there and be like, oh, no, wait. The chat room leader told me not to buy this. Let me not buy it. They're going to buy. They're going to buy, you know?
And that is what is so evident here by looking at this chart. It's one thing when Ross buys and when the market's open, you know, and there's millions of, it's one thing when Ross buys a stock and, you know, there's a overall action during the market hours, but buying a stock,
exactly. There's more volume in regular market hours, so the chances of something just dumping are are much more slim, unless it was really like no volume to begin with, which you want to check out that video I did, and that was the case in that video. There was basically no volume in that stock until he bought, and that was during regular market hours.
Pre-market that's got low volume, that really doesn't have the action, doesn't have any type of news behind it. Seeing this action right here is pure definition of exactly what Ross Cameron does with his chat room. He is able to buy a stock with very low liquidity. He's able to buy it. He's able to move the price by himself, moving the price higher, chasing the ask, trying to get filled 36,000 shares, and in return, all of his followers are buying, and the thing just gets crushed. It just got crushed. You know, and I'm sure people are going to comment below being like, well, I'm a Ross Cameron follower and I was in the chat room and I bought it with him and I sold it and I made money, but
And that's true. There's going to be people who are going to make money. They're just going to make money. There's going to be people who are going to make money in similar situations like that. When I was in that chat room I was in way back, you know, I caught on, and I would even sometimes buy right before the guy would even put out an alert, because I figured it out. And I have a buddy that was in the chat room with me, and I'm sure if he's watching, he's laughing, because we figured out even his tone of voice before he bought, and we would get in, and boom, we'd make some money. But then, you know, somebody gets left holding those bags on those things eventually, and they would drop right back to where they came from, and that was
guaranteed that there's a lot of people out there today that end up losing a lot of money on this stock because they bought it here. They didn't take profit. It crushed them at
They
open.
chased it.
They held it.
It crushed.
They held it, and they sold
blew up
it
the
down
counts.
here, because we all know how it goes when you're a beginner. When you first start out, you buy here at 850 and you sell it down here at 550 because you're hoping, you're praying that it goes.
Boom. Boom. That's what happens. And then they end up just blowing up their accounts.
It never goes back up, because if you're hoping and you're praying that it goes back up, there's a pretty good chance that it's probably never going to go back up.
If you're in a trade and you're like, oh, please, get, you know, generally I would say get out, because you're not where you're supposed to be. Let's go ahead and fast forward this just a tad more, because it's a pretty long video.
Millions of dollars every single month. I know y'all are going to comment below about how, you know, so-and-so made this much money. If I would have woke up this morning and be like, well, today I want to buy 36,000 shares of this company. If I would have done that, like I said, I had the same exact scanner. I saw exactly what Ross saw before this all happened. I was right there. I could have bought this stock, and in hindsight, I could have made $94,000 as well. But instead,
I don't have a fancy.
Oh, this guy. Are you kidding me?
Nope, I don't do any of that stuff, guys.
Turkey.
Like a turkey.
I'm not calling him a turkey.
Penny stocks will not work. Penny stocks.
That guy.
looking at this, I was like, I'm not buying that. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell because the volume's not there. There's no action. Why would I buy this stock? And what I can tell you right now, I can tell you guys right now, I've been doing this long enough to know one thing and know one thing only. I'm telling you right now, and you can say, you can debate me, you can hate me all you want. I'm telling you right now that if Ross would not have bought this stock, if Ross would not have bought this stock right there, there would not be this volume. This volume.
I absolutely agree 100%. This thing was fading into the open, and more than likely it would have dropped at the open. I'm not going to say that it wouldn't have been able to have made like a little U shape, found a double bottom, and then boom, you know, short squeeze out. I'm not saying that wouldn't have or couldn't have happened. What I'm saying is that into the open, it was fading. And if Ross doesn't say, in my opinion, if Ross doesn't say that he's buying at 6 and he buys at 6, we don't get that kind of volume while he's there. And I'm sure he was on YouTube live. So you have what, like, I don't even know how many people are in his chat room, 2,000 or 3,000 plus another, what, 7, 8, 10,000 in YouTube live. You know, exactly. And that's what Patrick is saying here. And I agree with Patrick.
Here if it was not for Ross buying the stock with his chat room. That is a fact. That is a fact, people. That is literally a fact. Because look at the volume here. Look at the volume. This thing was done. This move was done. This was done. It was over. This party was not going anywhere until Ross showed up and started buying and buying and buying until it went to the moon. Look at the volume. The volume on this candle, 58,000. The volume here is 26,000. The volume there, 18,000. The volume there, 69.
And then we come on over here and you have, you know, what was this, 100 and something? No, I'm sorry, this was like a 200,000 share volume candle, and this is probably even huge. More, what is that, like a 400,000 share?
I mean, we didn't have any spikes over 100,000.
Let's be honest here.
Tell people to follow. I don't tell people to follow. I don't tell people to follow. They are following him into a trade, and this is a perfect example of exactly what Ross is doing right here. I don't know how this is legal, but it's still happening every single day, and it's, I don't know, it's just happening. I guess it is what it is. You know, like I said, I don't hate the guy. I love him. Is living the American dream, that he's able to buy a stock, 36,000 shares of a stock that's totally a crap.
I mean, he really went after him in this video, guys. But I gotta say, he brings up a lot of valid points that many people have brought up before, that I brought up in my channel before. He's bringing up valid points, whether intentional or not. These things are easy to happen when you have, you know, a low float in pre-market and you're doing what we just went over. So let me know what you think. Drop it in the comment section below. Remember to smash the like button for me, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I'll catch you on the next one.